If you're over 70 and you can still tie your own shoelaces without holding on to something, there's a good chance you're doing better than 80% of people your age. Stay with me for the next few minutes because I'm going to walk you through 7 signs that doctors and researchers say actually predict a longer, healthier, sharper life. Number 4 on this list surprises almost everyone, and number 7 is the one that most people over 70 completely ignore, even though it might be the most important one of all. So if you or someone you love has crossed 70, keep watching, because this could change how you think about the years ahead. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're talking about something that touches every single one of us, whether we're 70 ourselves or we have a parent, a grandparent, or a beloved neighbor who's crossed that milestone. Turning 70 used to be seen as the beginning of decline. But here's the truth that modern research has uncovered. Age is not just a number written on a birth certificate. It's a reflection of how your body and mind are actually functioning right now. Some people at 70 move like they're 50. Others, unfortunately, feel much older than their years. The difference often comes down to a handful of specific signs that doctors, geriatric specialists, and longevity researchers have identified again and again. In this video, we're breaking down 7 of those signs. These aren't vague, feel-good statements. These are backed by real studies on aging, mobility, cognition, and longevity. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of where you stand, and more importantly, what you can do to protect and even improve these areas going forward. So make sure you watch all the way through, because we've saved the most overlooked sign for last, and it might be the single biggest factor in how long and how well you live. Let's start with sign number 1, and it's something so simple that most people never think to test it. Can you stand up from a chair without using your hands? And can you get up off the floor without support? This is often called the sitting-rising test, and researchers have found it to be one of the strongest predictors of longevity in older adults. A well-known study published in the European Journal of Cardiology followed thousands of adults over several years and found that people who couldn't get up from the floor without using their hands, knees, or furniture had a significantly higher risk of dying within the following years compared to those who could do it smoothly. Why does this matter so much? Because getting up from a seated position without help requires a combination of leg strength, core stability, balance, and flexibility. All of these decline naturally with age, but the rate of decline is not the same for everyone. If you can still do this test with minimal or no support, it means your muscles, joints, and nervous system are communicating well together, and that coordination is a sign of a body that is aging gracefully rather than deteriorating. If this is difficult for you right now, don't worry. This is one of the most trainable signs on this list. Simple exercises like sit-to-stand repetitions, done a few times a day, can rebuild this strength surprisingly quickly, even in people well into their 80s. Sign number 2 is your walking speed. This might sound too simple to matter, but gait speed has become one of the most respected clinical measures of biological aging. Researchers sometimes call it the 6th vital sign, right alongside blood pressure, heart rate, temperature, breathing rate, and oxygen levels. Studies published in the Journal of the American Medical Association have shown that people over 70 who walk at a speed of about 3 feet per second or faster tend to live significantly longer than those who walk slower. Why is walking speed such a powerful indicator? Because it reflects the health of your cardiovascular system, your muscular strength, your balance, your lung capacity, and even your brain function, since walking requires constant real-time coordination between multiple systems in your body. If you can walk briskly, keep pace with people younger than you, or climb a flight of stairs without stopping to catch your breath, that's a strong sign your body is aging well. If your pace has slowed down noticeably over the past year or two, it doesn't mean something is wrong, but it is worth paying attention to, because walking speed is highly responsive to regular movement, especially brisk walking, resistance training for the legs, and balance exercises. Sign number 3 is about your grip strength, and this one might catch you off guard. Multiple long term studies, including research published in The Lancet, have found that hand grip strength is closely tied to overall survival and even cognitive health in older adults. It turns out that the muscles in your hand and forearm are a surprisingly accurate window into your overall muscular health because grip strength correlates strongly with total body strength, including the muscles that protect you from falls and support your bones. A firm handshake, being able to open a tight jar lid, or comfortably carrying grocery bags without strain are all everyday signs that your grip strength is holding up well. If you've noticed it's harder to open jars or your handshake has weakened noticeably, this is another highly trainable area. Simple grip exercises using a stress ball or hand gripper, along with general resistance training, can meaningfully improve this in a matter of weeks. Sign number 4 is the one that surprises almost everyone, and it has nothing to do with your muscles or your joints. It's your sense of smell. Researchers have discovered a striking connection between a person's ability to identify common smells, like coffee, cinnamon, or peppermint, and their long-term brain health. A well-known study conducted by researchers at institutions including the University of Chicago found that older adults who lost their sense of smell were significantly more likely to experience cognitive decline and even had a higher risk of mortality within the following years compared to those whose sense of smell remained sharp. Why would smell be connected to aging in the brain? Scientists believe it's because the olfactory system is directly wired to areas of the brain involved in memory, particularly the hippocampus. When neurodegenerative changes begin, even subtly, they can show up first as a diminished sense of smell, often years before other symptoms appear. If you can still catch the scent of fresh bread baking down the street, notice when milk has gone off, or enjoy the aroma of your morning coffee just as strongly as you did decades ago, take that as a genuinely encouraging sign about your brain health. Sign number 5 is your ability to learn something new. This one is less physical and more about mental flexibility, but it's just as important as any of the physical signs we've covered so far. Cognitive scientists have found that older adults who continue to challenge their brains with new skills, whether that's learning a language, picking up a musical instrument, learning to use new technology, or even mastering a new hobby like painting or woodworking, tend to maintain sharper memory and problem-solving abilities compared to those who stop challenging themselves mentally. This concept is often referred to as cognitive reserve. Think of it like a mental savings account. The more varied and challenging mental activity you engage in, the more reserve you build up, which can help buffer against age-related decline, and in some cases, even against the effects of conditions like dementia. If you find yourself curious about new things, willing to try a new recipe, interested in learning how a new app works on your phone, or eager to pick up a new hobby, that curiosity itself is a wonderful sign that your brain is staying flexible and resilient. Sign number 6 is your quality of sleep. Many people assume that poor sleep is simply an unavoidable part of getting older, but recent research tells a more nuanced story. While some changes in sleep patterns are normal with age, consistently poor sleep, meaning difficulty falling asleep, frequent waking throughout the night, or waking up feeling exhausted, has been linked in multiple studies to a higher risk of cognitive decline, heart disease, and reduced lifespan. On the other hand, older adults who report falling asleep relatively easily, staying asleep for most of the night, and waking up feeling rested tend to score better on measures of both physical and cognitive health. Sleep is when your brain clears out waste products, including the kind associated with conditions like Alzheimer's disease, and when your body repairs muscle and tissue. If you're sleeping well most nights, that's a genuinely strong sign of healthy aging. If your sleep has become difficult, know that this is an area where small changes, like consistent sleep and wake times, reducing screen time before bed, and daytime physical activity, can make a real difference. And now, sign number 7, the one we promised you at the beginning, and honestly, the one that may matter more than all the others combined. It's the strength and depth of your social connections. This might not sound like a medical sign at all, but the research behind it is some of the most compelling in all of longevity science. A famous long-term study out of Harvard, which has followed participants for over 80 years, found that the single strongest predictor of healthy aging and long life was not cholesterol levels, not exercise habits, and not even genetics. It was the quality of a person's relationships. People over 70 who maintain close friendships, stay connected with family, participate in community groups, or simply have someone they can call to talk through a hard day, consistently show lower rates of depression, slower cognitive decline, and even stronger immune function compared to those who are socially isolated. Loneliness in older adults has been linked by researchers to health risks comparable to smoking or obesity, which is a sobering statistic when you think about how often social connection gets overlooked in conversations about health. If you have people in your life you talk to regularly, whether that's family, old friends, neighbors, or a community group, church, or club you're part of, that connection is doing more for your long-term health than almost anything else on this list. And if your social circle has shrunk over the years, which is common and completely understandable as life changes, know that it's never too late to rebuild it. Joining a local class, volunteering, reconnecting with an old friend, or even engaging with an online community around a hobby you love can make a measurable difference in both your happiness and your health. So let's bring this all together. If you can rise from a chair or the floor without help, walk at a brisk and steady pace, maintain a strong grip, still catch the scent of your morning coffee, feel curious enough to learn something new, sleep reasonably well most nights, and have people in your life you genuinely connect with, then you are aging better than most people your age, according to the research we've covered today. And if a few of these areas need some work, that is not a reason to feel discouraged. Nearly everything on this list, strength, balance, sleep, even social connection, can be improved with small, consistent effort, no matter what age you're starting from. The body and brain are remarkably capable of adapting and strengthening at any stage of life, and 70, 80, even 90 is not too late to start. If this video gave you something valuable to think about, whether for yourself or for a parent or loved one you're thinking of right now, do me a favor and hit that like button, because it genuinely helps this video reach more people who need to hear this. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, because we bring you real research-backed content on health and aging every single week. The kind of information that can actually change how you live your later years. Drop a comment below and tell us which of these 7 signs you feel strongest in and which one you're going to start working on today. I read every single comment and I'd love to hear your story. Take care of yourself, share this with someone who needs to see it, and I'll see you in the next video.